Prologue 1. Unknown POV. It hurt much more than death. There was no scream nor cry. I stood there looking at him with shock featured on my face. I gave him my all. I did everything for him. I loved him. It hurt beyond reason, though I could not feel any physical pain. Or feel anything at all. I was numb, and I stood there like a fool that I had been. I trusted him. It hurt. So much. It hurt when he pierced my chest with his hand. He ripped my skin open with his claws and forced his fingers into my flesh. He dug around inside me like I was nothing. He looked at me as I had been meaningless to him, just a tool that he had use of. When he was done using me, he finally threw me away with the most hurtful thing he could have done. He hurt me. I felt my blood pouring out of me. It drenched my light blue dress in red. I looked at him, trying to find his eyes. I begged him with my eyes for an explanation. Why? Why are you doing this? But my mouth was too weak to say the words. And so, there was only silence and the sound of his hand tearing into my flesh accompanying us. No, the real reason I would not say the words would be that I was too afraid of his answer. Because I already knew. I knew why. That was why it hurt so badly. He grabbed something inside of me. I could feel his hands twisting, making my blood float out more. He did not stop, and I let him. In a matter of seconds, he pulled his hand with so much force. His bloodied hand had taken something out of my body. The blood oozed out more at his pull. His eyes met mine for a second. I'd like to imagine regret was painted in his blue eyes. But I knew then it was far from the truth. Suddenly, my throat forced me to cough. Blood came out of my mouth. My internal bleeding had caught up to me. I knew my body was going to shut down immediately. I stared at him with my remaining breaths. I had so many emotions going through me right then. I felt angry for ever trusting him. I felt sad. I felt empty and hollow. Most of all, I felt hurt. A raw, pure hurt. He looked at his hand where my beating heart was. It was smaller than his palm. It would be easy to crush it in one heartbeat. Then I laughed. It was too funny. I laughed as hard as my hollowed chest would allow me to. I had told him that my heart was his, and he literally took it from me. He had my heart in the palm of his hand, and he left me breathless. Literally, my vision started to blur. The next thing I knew, I was falling. Darkness had caught me in its abyss, drowning me in its void. I kept on falling, and falling, and falling. "I'm sorry," he said the moment I fell. But I never heard it myself. The only thing that ran through my mind was, it hurt. It hurt. It hurt. It hurt. And that I wanted revenge. He took her heart to the path of light, and she saw no return from the darkness until time fooled them both.